What's up everyone, this is Nox and welcome to another Zero to Hero series. Many of you voted and this time we're going to be doing Kinetic Blast Trickster. This will be an instack eventually, but we need to get there. So let's go over the rules for this challenge. Number one, I have to use the endgame skill as early as possible or use the closest substitute until then. For KV that's level 28, so we'll be using Kinetic Bolt or Power Siphon until we get there. Number two, I have to farm my own currency, Chaos Divines, on this character to purchase upgrades. I'm going to be less strict on gumball currency, so if I use a chrome or a jeweler's orb to get a 4-socket something, I'm not going to count that in the cost of the character. Number three, now hand-me-down gear from previous builds. Can't be using the mage blood that we earned on the armor stacker. We're going to everything ourselves. Number four, and this is going to be new for this playthrough, is I have to unlock my own void stones on this character. So even though I have 4 out of 4 on this account, I can't use them until I kill the respective bosses. The goals for this build are going to be 20k ES, 2k int, and about 50 million Guardian Pinnacle DPS. With that out of the way, let's wash up on the beach and get started. We murder Hillock, get into town, and hit up Lily the Roth in our hideout for our gems. We grab Kinetic Bolt, Power Siphon, and Kinetic Blast, as well as added lightning damage support. For the rest, we'll grab those from the campaign rewards. I just wanted to have the ability to use wand skills as early as possible. The overall campaign experience for this character was really nice. Clear was great, single target was pretty slow, but after getting a Molten Strike of Zenith in my first lab that I sold for 9 chaos, I was able to purchase 3 really nice upgrades in Dodri's Tenure, Wake of Destruction, and Prism Weave that are still on my character at endgame. KB gets 200% of increased spell damage as increased attack damage. These gloves combined with a nice flat on the belt and boots really carries the early game. Skipping ahead of my second lab, we turn in another red gem and hit the jackpot, Smite of Divine Judgment. This gem's worth about a divine at the time of this recording, so this pays for pretty much the entire early game setup you'll see in the POE below, as well as the beginning of our first farming strategy. I would strongly recommend, if you guys are going to do this sort of challenge, to like transfigure red gems, because there's way less of them compared to green or blue gems, and there's several hits that are worth 50 chaos and above. Our second currency maker was Heist. Starting in Act 6, I visited the Rogue Harbor, chatted up all the thieves, and started doing as many heist contracts as Wakana would let me purchase. It's a great way to get early currency and early chaos, just raw chaos drops at league start, and it helps a ton in a challenge like this. After purchasing some upgrades with our newfound currency, we finished up the campaign and headed right into our first farming strategy. Now for these, I always pick something that can make currency in white or yellow maps because it creates the lowest possible barrier to entry for players just starting out. So for this, I decided on Legion, and Dunes is tier 2, so we're doing tier 2 Dunes, Legion. I will say that the T7 Harpy strat and the T6 Essence strat from our last Zero to Hero totally work well for this character, but I just wanted to showcase something different. Jumping into game to look at our Atlas tree, you'll notice I have 35 points unspec'd, and that's just, again, to simulate super low barrier to entry currency strat. I just take all of the Legion nodes. I do, however, skip a couple, and this is pretty important. I do not take face off because I don't want more generals. They take a while to kill, and they're just kind of annoying, and they barely give additional rewards. And I do not take logistical support because 50% more life on all the sergeants is just, again, slows you down more than it gives you rewards. Eventually, when this character is just absolutely blasting, it won't be that big of a deal. For the rest of the points, I grab the close by strong nodes. I grab all the Nico chants for packed with energy, as well as mining byproducts. And I will say mining byproducts did not give me very much this go around for this 20 map showcase. And I will say that it is important to grab this extra monolith chance right here, so you have 100% chance total. For the rest of the points, you can fill them out however you want. I chose to do scarabs. We are doing singular focus just so we can sustain those T2 dunes. As far as favorited maps, I have all dunes and 1 alleyways. If I ever run out of dunes, I just pop in, do a couple of alleyways and go. I run these maps white, just completely scoured. If they drop rare and it's mods I can run, I just run them like that, but I do not waste an alchemy orb if they're not already rare. This is what our stash looks like after what the 3 tabs that I have available for the Zero to Hero look like after doing 20 maps of Legion. I ended up getting one Raw Divine drop that you probably saw in the highlights there, as well as a significant amount of currency, just raw chaos and stacked decks. And emblems as well. I got several sets. Now you could sell these as sets on like TFT or something like that, but I'm just going to sell them at Faustus. 32C seems about correct for those. Please don't pay attention to this here because I'm filtering out the individual splinters. For whatever reason, Wealthy Exile counts these as 1C each when the total of them 100 only equals 32C. Doesn't make sense. So we made about 6.5 divines in 20 maps. Not too bad. Here is the spreadsheet that'll be linked in the description below with all the previous farming strats we did for the 0 to Hero armor stacker, as well as the new ones that we're doing for KB here. Atlas tree will be linked. I have these Legion Scarabs at 4 for 2C. Now this is actually cheap. This is actually double the price. You can buy these in-game right now. And I'll showcase that at Faustus. You can buy these in-game right now 4 to 1. So 1 chaos gets you 4 of these, maybe about 3. But if you are patient and you just post something up for 4 to 1, you can totally get these. Same thing here. You know, you can grab these 3 to 1 or something like that. So lots cheaper if you're willing to be patient. We ended up making about almost half a divine per map, which isn't too bad. And like I said, I feel like I got unlucky with the resonators here. Typically you get a significant amount of Azurite in 20 maps, and I feel like I just missed out. So the next 20 map showcase will be a lot more currency. As far as the gear and how to get it together, let's look at the gear in game. So I have this Omen wand here. Now you can either buy this outright, which is what I did, or you can craft it yourself. Just grab an Omen wand and hit it with an Essence of Loathing. You can use the really low tier Essence of Loathing as well, and it's totally fine. This is a great way to level with wanders as well. So you just hit an Omen wand with Essence of Loathing for the increased crit chance. This is the wand that I was leveling with right here. Just crit chance, flat cold, and if you didn't roll attack speed on it, you can craft attack speed. If you didn't roll spell damage, you craft spell damage. Obviously, we need an upgraded wand. We're going to be in-stacking here soon, but the in-stacking bases are several divines apiece, so we will get there when we get there. For the hat, just energy shield and some resistances. For the shield, energy shield, spell damage, resistances. For our uniques, we're using Carnage Heart. This is just for the damage while leeching, the all attributes, and the all res. We are a trickster, so we do have overleech, so we're leeching all the time. Right here with Soul Drinker. In hindsight, I probably would have gotten Polymath a little bit sooner. I have several masteries now, but Polymath really doesn't take off until you have several masteries. So if you get it in your first lab and you don't have that many masteries, it's not very valuable. That's okay. Polymath will be my last ascendancy anyway. Going back to the gear real quick, just a 6-link crypt armor. I wanted resistances. I was actually happy that this didn't have life on it, so we could take the life mastery. For our rings, you are going to need 1 ring with strength on it just to cap everything out. Volatility needs 111, I believe, at level 20. So you need at least 111 strength in your character total. So this is how I managed to fix that. Otherwise, just resistances and flat lightning. And then I crafted on more flat damage. Same thing with this ring over here. I was just looking for an accuracy roll, as well as resistances and flat lightning. I'm lucky enough to get this on an amethyst base, but that's definitely not required. We'll be CI soon. And then again, crafted on more flat damage. For the gloves, like I mentioned before, we're using Dodri's Tenure. This is just for the increased spell damage and the int. This is going to be our pair of gloves for quite a while. Prism Weave still just for the flat damage and all res. And Wake of Destruction, again, just for the flat damage. These boots are going to be replaced here really soon, simply because 15% movement speed is just not good enough. I hate moving around at 15% movement speed, but the flat damage really makes up for it. So once we get a good wand, we will be sitting pretty. This is Editing Nox from the future, and I completely forgot to discuss our links. So we have Kinetic Blast linked to Sacred Wisps, increased crit damage, returning projectiles, volatility, and elemental damage with attacks. I have Sniper's Mark with a mark on hit setup. I have a Spell Slinger setup with Tornado. This is just so we can attack and our projectiles will hit it and spread out and explode on it. This helps a ton single target. I do have barrage just hanging out in here. This is so like if I really want to do some single target, I could swap out returning projectiles for it. I haven't felt the need to do that since I got the spell slinger set up, so I'll keep you guys posted on that. For our auras, we have Wrath and Grace and a level 15 precision. This is just so we have enough mana to cast Sniper's Mark and Tornado and stuff when we're in the thick of it. And we have a Flame Dash just by itself. So I also have for you guys linked in the description below this spreadsheet. This is a trade link for every single slot that I have on my character right now. This is what I use to find these items. So for example, the helmet, you just click on this, it'll show you a bunch of lists of helmets. They all have at least 100 energy shield and at least 75 total elemental resistances. You can either sort by elemental resistances if that's what you're trying to fill in right now, or let's say you found some really nice rings and you already have a ton of resistances, you could sort by energy shield instead and get as much energy shield as possible. And that about does it for this character. We are making our way over here to Prodigal Perfection and Wandslinger. I'm gonna hit 85, 86, and then purchase some upgrades. Probably start out with getting a nice necrotic armor. If we get enough ES, I'll switch to CI, which will be very nice. It'll allow us to free up some points for some more damage and more ES there. Get our final lab done and progress into instacking. So with that, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to like and sub, and I'll see you guys next time.